Okay, Jarom, I want to talk to you about scams. What are some moving scams that people can be aware of? We are a moving company. Other moving companies are in people's houses. We're dealing with people's stuff. Customers have to trust us. They have to trust any moving company that's going to be at their house doing anything, whether that's packing, whether that's in your closet. I mean, I was in somebody's bathroom one time. It's a very intimate service that we're offering people. They're also wanting to trust us with making sure that the stuff that we take out of their house ends up in their new house. Sometimes they're not even going to be there when we're unpacking. So what are some do's and don'ts when we're looking for moving companies? How can a customer know that they can trust a moving company? What are some potential pitfalls that people fall into when they're either looking for a moving company or have already found one?
Yeah, good question. Being in the moving industry, we hear tons of horror stories. A lot of our customers came to us after having a terrible experience in the past, and so we get to hear a lot of things. In the moving industry, someone might think it's really easy just to go buy a truck and just start moving someone, but there's so many proper steps that you have to go through as a moving company to really be legit and to really take care of your customers. The first thing that comes to my mind is just having the proper licensing and the proper insurance.
And what does that look like? What is an example of proper licensing and insurance?
Yeah, I mean, you could find a moving company or someone online just who has a truck and a crew, and they can come and take care of you. But if something goes wrong, they don't have the coverage, they don't have the insurance to take care of you as a customer. So we at Big Ben's, we make sure we're covered. We're going to take care of our customers. So
how would a customer find out if a company has proper licensing and insurance? Will they just ask about that? Is that something that's advertised somewhere? How does that work?
Yeah, usually it's advertised on a website. So we have that on our website. If a customer asks us, then we'll give them the details. We'll tell them what we've got. And that's an important question when you're hiring a moving company.
Right, exactly. What else? What else can people be looking out for when either looking for a moving company or maybe they've already found one and they're looking to see if they're reputable?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of scams with pricing. There's a lot of bait and switch companies out there. Maybe they lowball the quote. They give you an exact quote and say, hey, this is going to be this much. And then come moving day, they end up charging you way over what they told you. And so bait and switch, I've heard of companies that, one of our customers told us on their last move, their movers charged them a deposit. They loaded up the truck, took them across the country, and held their items hostage before making the customer pay thousands of dollars more than what they were originally quoted.
So holding customers' items hostage, what do you mean by that?
So this customer was telling me that their moving company, they charged them a deposit, so they had their card on file, and then they loaded up their truck, took it across the country, but before they unloaded their items into their new home, they refused to do that until the customer paid them thousands of dollars more than what they were originally quoted.
Is that legal? How does somebody even do that?
I don't even know. I just know that our customer told us that story, and I was shocked, and I reassured her that's not going to happen with us. Yeah, we're very upfront and clear about our pricing, and so that's.
So on pricing, what can I as the customer look out for when we're talking about pricing? How would I call Big Ben's up or any company? Let's say I call some random company up. So I call some random company up and they're telling me about pricing. How am I going to know if it's a good pricing structure or a bad pricing structure? How do I know if what they're telling me is something I can trust versus something I can't trust?
Yeah, I think just asking questions. Ask if, make sure you know all the fees going into it. Get a contract. So make sure they're sending you a moving agreement or contract so you can read exactly how their pricing is laid out and hold them to it, hold the moving company to their contract. You know,
So if a moving company doesn't give you a contract to sign, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
that's a red flag. I'd definitely be wary of hiring a moving company if they don't send you a contract.
Right. Well, because like a lot of people are scared of contracts. But in this case, you're saying that a contract is kind of a good thing because it saves the customer from unintended consequences.
Absolutely.
Sweet. It definitely saving the customer from getting their items held hostage.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else that somebody would need to be looking out for with a moving company? Reputation, reviews, like, oh, should we only really trust the top 3 companies that we research? Is there a good place to go when you're looking for a reputable moving company? Also, what kind of price scale are we going to be looking for? Like, I want my stuff to be safe and secure, but I don't want to spend a fortune to do it. So what kind of price points can people be looking out for when we're talking about moving?
Yeah, those are good questions. So I would say you should definitely hire a moving company that has good reviews, good referrals. You know, find someone either online or friends that have had good experiences with moving companies. And, you know, because if you've heard of those good experiences from other people, it puts you at ease. You know that you're walking into something that someone you can trust. And then your question about, what was your second question?
What kind of pricing structure can we expect? How much what are the ranges of quotes? Obviously, we want to have somebody who's, worth the money, but nobody wants to overpay for a moving company. So how would we know if we're overpaying or underpaying?
I would say think about, when you hire a moving company, you're trusting someone with your life's possessions. Like, you can't really put a number to everything in your house, that's everything. That's where you live. You go every night to your home, and those are your items, your belongings you've had your whole life. With a moving company, you really pay for, you really get what you pay for. If pricing is all you're concerned about when you're looking for a mover, I would be concerned for you as a customer. If you just find the cheapest moving company, who knows how your move is going to end up, how they're going to treat your items, how they're going to communicate to you. So you definitely don't want to just hire the cheapest moving option, unless you don't care about your stuff, And so some other things I would point out is, you want to look for quality. You want to make sure you're going to hire a moving company that's going to care about you and your belongings. And then just ask them how you as a customer can have the best experience. If you are concerned about price, which you should be, ask the moving company, what can you do to cut back the cost? There's so many things that the customer themselves can do to prep before the moving company shows up that can cut back the cost.
No, of course. No, I completely agree. And so essentially what you're saying is, obviously you don't want to trust the bottom dollar guy, but you're almost saying, hey, the guys who are the most expensive are probably going to be worth the money. Would you agree?
In most cases, yes.
In most cases,
you've got to do your research and make sure that they've got good reviews and things like that. But yeah, I would say in most cases, the more you pay, the better experience you're going to get.
And what kind of things can a customer look out for when they are looking for a company with quality? Is it the social media presence? Is it the reviews? Is it the Facebook groups in the local area? How would a customer know, hey, these guys are quality, and so it doesn't matter how much they cost? Yeah,
I think those that you mentioned are all good places, and not just get one person to say they're a good company, but if you can find a lot of different people online that have said that they're a good company, they had a good experience, that can build trust and help you're moving in the right direction. And then, realtors work a lot with moving companies. So if you can, get a few recommendations from realtors. That's always a good place to find recommendations.
Awesome. So this is kind of a more new age question, but maybe there's a few people out there that would want to know, should we trust AI to tell us what the best moving company is?
We're just starting to get into AI, so I don't know a ton about how to optimize us as a moving company in AI, but I know AI has good ways to find information online, and so I would say it's probably a good way to find information.
Cool. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to let people know about when it comes to scams or things they need to look out for?
Let me see. There might be a few other things I can think of here. Yeah, I've heard of some of our customers have called us last minute and said, we hired a moving company and they didn't show up. And so, good communication is important when you're working with a moving company. We have multiple conversations with our customers between the first conversation and the moving day, and so just making sure they're confirming things with you and make sure they're going to show up. You don't want that's the last thing you want to have happen is you think you have it all lined up and then they never show up. So we make sure we're communicating and confirming things with our customers.
Sweet. Thank you. All right. That kind of wraps everything up. Make sure to follow if you want more information about moving in the moving industry. We're going to be doing a lot more videos like this, and comment any questions you guys have, because we want to be the experts in this industry. So we're breaking through. The more comments, the more questions, the more concerns that you guys have and can reach out to us, the better we can answer questions, the better we can make more videos, and we can connect a lot more with you guys. Thank you.